Hello, wonderful people. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026. Where are the programs that teach respect and the dignity of all humankind? Where are they? Where are the millions and millions of dollars spent on teaching agape love, togetherness, community, the oneness of humanity? Where?
And
Where?
did Mom give you a sense of what that's going to require, that sense of safety to be restored?
Well, first and foremost, Lisa, it does start with that kind of rhetoric. And I think it was very important for Muslims in San Diego, for the Imam and others, to hear that assurance that their places of worship, their rights as Americans will be protected, and their schools, above all, will also be protected. And I think that's a very important juxtaposition than what we've been hearing coming out from a lot of other elected officials and people in the U.S. I mean, to Rob's point, you have a lot of American officials, Republican officials, Andy Ogles, Tommy Tuberville, Randy Fine. They have been calling out Muslims in this country. They've been singling them out. You've had elected officials in this country saying Muslims are a threat to America, that they should be expelled from America, that they don't belong here. We had prominent media personalities call, a prominent Muslim mayor in New York City, Zohran Momdani, he called him a cockroach. And that kind of rhetoric, when you hear that from elected officials, is in stark contrast from what we heard today from the mayor of San Diego to the Muslim American community. So to Rob's point, on one hand, the Muslim American community, like any other community, wants to know that they are protected, that they belong here, that their places of worship and learning and culture will be protected. And at the same time, they want to hear the rhetoric from other types of personalities in this country toned down. That kind of hate, when it's put out there, is heard by people in this country, and we don't know where that ends up. And it's still early to determine the motivation behind this attack, as we've heard. But now that we have this letter based on the New York Times reporting, and we heard from law enforcement officials that this will be investigated as a hate crime, you can't separate those two. There is a through line between the kind of vile rhetoric that we are hearing in this country in this moment. And it's not just individual politicians. It's a policy that is predicated by an administration that is constantly portraying itself at war with the Muslim world. Again, we hear the way that Senator Lindsey Graham has portrayed this as a civilizational war with Iran against Islamic theocracy. Well, that is heard by people in this country sometimes in different ears, and in different ways it is interpreted as a possible call to violence. So it's important that in this moment in this country that we do hear from elected officials who come out, forcefully condemn this type of violence, forcefully condemn that kind of rhetoric that we've been hearing from both the administration and Republican officials in Congress.
Imam Mohideen, Rob D'Amico, thank you both so much for getting us started tonight. Stay with us. We're going to shift gears after the break.
We need agape love, respect, togetherness, the oneness for all humanity, one race, a human race, for all human. This is horrible.
Because it's not just a place of worship, it is also a school. And to me, that denotes children were present during this very harrowing time. And yet again, our children have had to take their active shooter drills that they have been practicing, frankly, all over this country, and put them to use today. And that
there is a need to teach respect, community, the oneness of all humanity.
In their encrypted apps, that's a big thing. How these people communicate with hate groups and such, or other people in this, like Telegram or WhatsApp or whatever. They have to have the devices to get in there, so hopefully they had their phones on them. If not, they'll get them at the residences, and then they'll start doing the computer searches and start looking at all that, trying to put this together, trying to figure out what motivated them, what caused them at this time, at that point. And it is kind of, I don't want to say totally odd, but we haven't seen multiple suspects in mass shootings lately. It's usually the lone gunman. There have been other ones, of course, like Columbine and such. But for these two to get together to do this, and there must have been some type of fantasy ending to a point where they didn't think they were going to live past this event. I think they got blocked from getting in. I think the security guard and those two other individuals outside probably had something to do with that and deterred them from actually entering the school to do something. They drove around the corner a couple blocks away, supposedly shot at a landscaper, not sure what that was about, and then they ended themselves, which again, part of a lot of these are fantasies in their head, how they think it's going to end, and I think that's, they didn't really know what to do after they didn't get into the school.
Yet, according to the New York Times, Chief Wall did say a guard in the line of fire appeared to have helped avert a deadlier attack. Chief Wall noted that one of the deceased is a security guard that works there, and according to the chief, quote, I think played a pivotal role in assisting this from being much worse. Eamon, you have been speaking with the imam of the